Greetings. We are in the lab. We're in the lab. Nope, we're not in the lab. We're in the back cave. Another segment of Run Tell That. And we got some special guests. As we say, always all our guests are special on Run Tell That. And we're going to be tweaking in a bit. We got Dominique Crumbley. We got family in the house. We got Dominique. Glad to have you here, Dominique. Then we got Lindsay Grovenstein in the house. Lindsay, glad to have you here. Family also. Then we got Kweisi Jones in the house also, Kweisi family. Then we got a new person joining us as Chase Rosen in the house. And I think Ivan may still be around. Ivan is here. Ivan can say something to us. Ivan, are you here, Ivan? Okay, we're going to roll with that. We're going to roll with again. Like I said, these are people dear to me right here. And so I got to say this, and because not only Case's family, not only are they family, and we said, all y'all share. We are on Our Black Media channel that is on, network that is on Facebook, because we're on Facebook right now, and then Our Black Media channel on YouTube. And so, Kweisi Jones, what is the greatest professional fraternity in the world?
Delta Sigma Phi fraternity. International fraternity.
That's right. Kappa Chi chapter, Savannah State University. Dominique,
that's the best chapter.
And the best chapter, Dominic. And what is the greatest social fraternity in the world?
That would be Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay, so we got that out the way. So now we're gonna come to this again. We're gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. But then with the question I gotta throw out, and I just want y'all, just each one of you go and say. We'll start with Chase first, and that is, what is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia? And we want everybody to always get it right. It is a must that you get it right. What is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia?
Well, I'm gonna have to say it's Jenkins. That sounds pretty good to me.
You are a genius.
Sounds pretty good.
Bam.
What's his name? Chase. Let me write that down.
Please do.
And so,
all right.
What is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia? Please get it right, Lindsay. Please get it right. You family, get it right, please.
In Savannah, Chatham County, I guess I would go with Jenkins, but I'm an Effingham gal. That's where I graduated from.
I know that, Lindsay, but we ain't talking about that. We talking about right now.
That's why
we're talking about. Okay.
I mean, I'm not the best. I wouldn't say that, but.
Lindsay, what's your cash at? I'm gonna have to buy your vote like some folks. Oh, hold on. We ain't gonna hold on.
We're not going to trouble Kweisi with regards to. We're not going to trouble because Kweisi has already admitted it, because he's been on the show before. He's already admitted it. So,
well, I never really admitted nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say what's the best high school in Savannah. I know I didn't go to it. I went to a private school, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Kweisi, Mr. Producer, we're gonna edit that part out.
Yeah, I think the whole thing need to be edited.
So Ivan, are you with us, Ivan?
I think Ivan would say AE Beach High School.
I'm frozen. That's what happens.
Well, you're frozen because it's close to December 4th. But anyway,
we'll move on.
AE Beach High School is the answer.
So we'll give y'all a couple of seconds to introduce yourself to the people, because again, we tell our run tell that family. We got some folks on here. We're about to engage in a conversation, and so we'll start with Kweisi, and because people already know Kweisi, so he can go and give y'all at least a sense of how we do this. Kweisi, go ahead and let the folks know who you are. So again,
Yeah. So for those who don't know me, my name is Kweisi Jones. Young man from out of Savannah, Georgia, graduate of the illustrious Savannah State University, class of 2022. Something simple, like.
All right, Lindsay.
Hi, all. My name is Lindsay Grovenstein, and I'm the co-chair of the Democratic Socialist of America here. Like I said, I was born in Rankin. I went to Armstrong, up and around Savannah. Feel really drawn to trying to help out the community here. Now, I know this is called Young Folk. You said you graduated 2022. I'm flattered that I'm on the Young Folk. I graduated 2010, but I'm still.
Okay.
I still got that young spirit, but
All right. Because again, it's all of us. We all down. And so now we count to Dominique.
Yes, I'm Dominique Crumbley, born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a Memorial Hospital baby. I am lineage of West Savannah, Georgia, Newcastle Street. Tompkins High School runs in my veins. Beach High School runs in my veins. Savannah State, class of 2015, runs in my veins. I bleed orange and blue as well. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. That's crossed in fall 10. Been in the military since 2020. When I joined? 2002, right after high school when I graduated from Beach. So Savannah native to the blood and bone.
All right. Chase.
I'm out myself right now as a transplant. I graduated Gulf Breeze High School in Gulf Breeze, Florida in 2015. But I've been in Savannah for a few years now, and I love it. I care very deeply for its past and its future. And I hope that we can spread some of the love that has been here in its history. I hope that we can keep our communities that we're building today close-knit, family-built communities.
All right. Yes, indeed. And we are still, I was just trying to see if Ivan is here, but if not, what we'll do. Okay, we have people from around the entire world checking out the show. And so, Rhea Scott, we're glad to have you. David Banner, glad to have you with us as always. Sean, glad to have you with us also. So, again, we got all of us. Malik Jones is checking us out also. So, share something with y'all. What happened for me is that this weekend I had the privilege to be able to go to the Bayou Classic in New Orleans. And so, Bayou Classic is Grambling University, Southern University. They are playing. And so, while I'm there in New Orleans, I am there at some establishments, and some of them are traditional establishments. I'm saying the buildings, traditional buildings that coming from a prior era of the 1900s and 1800s. But then I'm looking across the street from those buildings. I see other buildings that are skyscrapers, that are hotels, that are large, that are tall. And I'm saying to myself, there are some stories that were over there that are no longer known. There are some stories that were right there that people have forgotten about. So that was a part of it. And so then as I'm going through the city looking, then when we're leaving New Orleans, I'm looking at the skyscrapers, but then I'm also looking around the corner where one-story houses, residential homes, that I'm like saying, these people are right here, and they had the same type of housing that was over there in those communities. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, guess what? So I'm looking at these voluminous structures that are there and looking at the small structures around the corner. And I'm saying that those were the stories and the lives of people that are right there. And I said, guess what? They're not known. Or when they're told in such a, I'm saying in a monetized way that is not really the blood. It is not the heart. It is not the flow of what really was there. That now we do it. We monetize it and just give a skim of what was there. And I said to myself, guess what? That's Savannah. That's Chatham County. That's us. That is what we have been talking about and have been putting out there, that again, the displacement and all of that now people have been displaced. But now again, because it is a tourist city, it's a city of conventions, a city that people enjoy, that you come in, but then the residents no longer are able to say they are part of that. And so that's what this conversation is about, because it is what we're talking about is the past, the present, and the future of Savannah. And want to engage in some conversation. And Chase, with your first person, we're going to throw it out to you. What are your thoughts with regards to what do you see as the future of Savannah?
With the future of Savannah, I see good things. I think that there are some mistakes being made in terms of the industrial growth that we're seeing, but also in terms of some of the development we're seeing. You're talking about seeing skyscrapers right next to single-family residential areas. There's a disparity there that doesn't make sense. There's no middle ground. And I see Savannah having a recent history of that mistake, but making a pivot towards allowing more of that missing middle housing and allowing more of these types of communities where you can get your groceries at a corner store, where you can have a close-knit community around you, some community policing. I see a bright future with that, but we have to keep fighting for it. And we have to bring it back from the history that Savannah has.
All right. Kweisi, what's your thoughts? What's the future of Savannah? Because we're going to delve into a lot of this right here as to what we see, what needs to happen, solutions. So Kweisi, what do you see as the future?
That's a great question. So when you ask me what's the future of Savannah, Georgia, you gotta, what aspect you talking about? You talking about as in the scenery or the people, the politics wise, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I see the future of Savannah being, like you said, a loss of history, different from what it was. With this election that just passed, I feel like a lot of people made a mistake with either not voting or voting for that particular person. I feel like it's not really going to be a good outcome, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. And so, Lindsay.
I think we've been at this moment. I mean, and people have, and all throughout history, we've been at these moments of like, this will change or things will not change, and can we change what's happening? And what Chase and what Kweisi just said of we can envision a good future, or we can see it all falling. Either of those futures really could be what happens. And it's really determined by what do we do in this moment, So as Savannah's continuing to be bought out, and as we're seeing these type of trends, if we don't, as a people, step up, we will see histories erased, and we will see tourism and development pushing people out. But then eventually people will get tired of it, and it'll probably turn into a wasteland. Who knows? You could think like that, or we could think like Chase and think about all the good that could happen too. And I believe that both of those happens, but it's really about what do we do about it. And I think that there are certain concrete things that we can be doing and that we are doing, but it's about building that collaboration among everybody who is trying to do better and to build a better community here. But we are kind of on that precipice of like, what is the future? It could be either.
All right. And Dominique.
The future of Savannah, it's we can see what's developing now. So we have an idea. Just as you said, you saw what you saw in New Orleans. One thing, what do they call New Orleans and Savannah? They call us sister cities, right?
Yeah.
So that's going into what you were speaking of, the things that you saw there. It's Savannah. But it's what we make it now that we see the momentum that's been going on, the shift that has taken place. It's all about our reaction. And with reaction, you have to have action. I'm a measure twice, cut once type of guy. And I don't like to spend too much time measuring. And that means I don't, planning is good. Let's plan. Let's make a plan. But we also need the action. So measure twice, cut once. So I'm ready to cut. I want to see more action being done and taking place. Because talking about it, having multiple meetings, we need action. Boots to the ground, boots where they need to be. Because sometimes that on the ground is not enough. So I'm a boot to chest type of person.
Okay. All right, Ivan, you've joined us, Ivan. We're glad to have you with us. And we already understand, Ivan, you know the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia is Herschel V. Jenkins High School, 820 Eastern Rand Avenue. So we got you on that. So again, what is the future of Savannah? What do you see as the future of Savannah? Your thoughts, because we're going to be delving deeper into some of this right here.
No, absolutely. And, honestly, I've agreed a lot with what everybody said. So I guess maybe just to be contrarian, I think the future of Savannah is, as of right now, the future of a lot in this country, a lot of places in this country, which is pretty bleak. We see the rise of the militarization of the police force. We see a lot of our communities being sold out. We see a lot of what is referred to in a lot of leftist spaces as late stage capitalism. The amount of capital in these areas and the amount of wealth being able to be generated by the people and kept by the people is shrinking. What's going to happen is that wealth will be increasingly aggregated to the people in charge, and then it will be hoarded and undistributed. And I see that in Savannah. I see that in every place in this country. I see that in this direction, and I see that around the world. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. I'm from Ecuador. That was where I was born and raised. I lived in Mexico. I've seen it all over the place. Everybody, the working class around the world is going through this issue. It's not exclusive to Savannah. It's not exclusive to America. I will say, just to not be a complete downer, but the future, if that is the direction, though, the future is still in the hands of the people. We make these choices. We decide what to happen. It's going to take bravery. It's going to take sacrifice, but we can make a better world. There's a great protest chant that I love, that we are unstoppable. A better world is possible. And I really do believe in that.
Okay. And we engage in it. So let y'all know, Bernard Brown, share some things. We got Robert Bryan checking us out. Also, Aubrey Fuller, glad to have you here. Eddie, glad to have you also checking us out. So, Bernard Brown, one thing about our show with Rontel in particular, we have straight up, honest conversation. We don't have an issue. That's why what I want the audience, people checking us out on Facebook Live, the people checking us out on YouTube and on Roku television, which will air tomorrow on Roku. We're live right now. That they begin to hear people and they put it out there. That's why we have people come in, know who you all are, and that they're going to sit back and take this information in. And it's correct. And Ivan, you share something again and alluding to it that what I was going to throw out to you, that in Charleston, South Carolina, there's only one Black neighborhood in downtown Charleston right now. I had a conversation with someone last week or this weekend discussing about in Beaufort. In Beaufort, one Black-owned business, downtown Beaufort, South Carolina. So people look at this, but there were some plans that were hatched. Plans were hatched with regards to the plans. So people tell me they're from Charleston. I said, no, you're lying. You're from North Charleston. Then they said, oh, yeah, because, again, displacement. So they displaced the people and created a plan that now you have Charleston known as the friendliest city or the nicest city in the United States. But they displaced the residents, so they no longer live in downtown Charleston, but they got to drive back into Charleston to now work, but then leave after working hours. That is a part, again, what we talk about, what is going on, the plans, and that, again, and we have to actualize, manifest, and work towards this. And so that's why now I'll go to Kweisi, starting out with Kweisi with regards to this. Kweisi, what is the role of us about bringing about positive change or the betterment of our community? What are our roles with regard? What do you see as being our roles, your role with regards to? Because again, it's like each one of us, based on your organizations or yourself, what do you see as your role with regard to bringing about change to better the people?
My role in particular, I will have to educate, because from what I've heard or seen, it's like the residents aren't informed of what's going on or what's going to happen. And for the ones who are informed, don't really care. Like, it ain't going to affect them, or they just wait till it's time to cross that bridge, when they don't understand that we are at the bridge now. That makes sense. So my role is, I feel like I need to be more outspoken and to educate the local residents of Savannah that this is not this is not a good thing for our local people, no matter what side of town you're from. They trying to displace everybody. They want tourists to come here, people who are not from here, wasn't born here, to move here. It don't make sense, but that's their plan. And so we have to educate them on that.
All right. Lindsay, what do you see as your role? What are our roles with regards to bring about a better community, bring about a better life for people here?
Yeah, I think what Kweisi said is true, and all of us have to talk to each other. As I mentioned, I'm a part of the Democratic Socialists of America, and I have learned so much through this organization. And sometimes, like, even that word, like, socialist, can be such a scare word, and it was for me, an Effingham gal. Like, I was like, what is this, But really, what it is about connecting to each other and building a community that is. We are trying to build a community that is not profit driven, but is driven by the people, by giving power to people. Dominique, and I love what you said earlier. We could talk, and we're talking about it now, but with every meeting, we got to do something too, and strategizing, anything that we can. And it's not just one strategy, multiple, but it's like building, how can we build power among ourselves in different groups and in a mass organization. Eventually, we would love to do that, but tenant organizing, union organizing, labor organizing, like getting with your friends and like, how can we create community of care with each other now? That's what that looks like, and then we can do so much more. But I think it's like a lot of people get caught in these lofty ideas of change and what can I do? And you can just talk to your neighbor. You could talk to them about what's going on, what their struggles are, connecting, but also connecting the dots with each other and trying to bring that change. And so, and realizing who really is at the root of all these issues, and it is the people in power, and not each other, and trying to build that solidarity and that compassion with each other too, because there's a lot of fighting inward among the working class, and we can't do that anymore. Like we can't. Well, the enemy is way too powerful for that, and we all know that. So.
Okay. All right, Dominique.
So being military, we talk about planning a lot, and that's where you find your role. You first have to define the problem. So once you define the problems, your areas where you have your problems, that's where your roles come in. That's where your roles come from. So we seek out the problems and we come up with ways to solve the problem. And that's how you define your role. So first, that will be my role. Whatever role I'm given, or whatever role that's given or provided to me from the problems that we see within the community.
Okay. All right.
So it can be multiple roles. I know it's not just one because we have multiple problems.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Ivan.
When I think of, I could just repeat the question, just make sure I want to make sure I answer like right.
What do you see? What is your role? What is the role of the entity that you're involved in with regards about bringing about positive change, bringing about upliftment, bringing about a better world?
Right. No. With my organization, with the DSA, I'm co-chair with Lindsay. I see the purpose of that is to basically facilitate the people who understand the problem, and want to fix it on a large scale, and help organize these small projects in a direction that will bring that large change. It is we are the sum of our parts in that. That's why I see the role of DSA, and specifically with me, I suppose I would see myself, hopefully, to have some vision as a facilitator and organizer. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm not here to dictate the revolution or whatever we're trying to create. I'm hoping to help people create their revolutions. I'm hoping that I could be. I'm hoping to be a resource to people as they find their own problems out, fight for them, and I'm just there to take a place next to them and help support them as they fight for their rights.
Okay. All right, Chase.
Right. I agree with what Ivan just said a lot. That was the bulk of what I was planning on saying, really, is especially being, like I said earlier, a transplant, I know that I'm not in any position to speak on behalf of any community in Savannah as it is today. I'm not a part of the history here. I admit that. That's fine. So I'm more than happy to listen to the issues that people are having and pass that along and repeat that and be an advocate for those people. However, as we are developing in the surrounding areas, I do want to be an advocate for how that shapes out to be. I want to have some say in these new developments, so they turn out less like Pooler and more like Savannah. I think that benefits everyone, because if we can have better built, more smartly designed developments, then that prevents a lot of harm around the community. That would ideally prevent a lot of the congestion we're seeing, a lot of the freight congestion, industrial encroachment. I'm really hoping to help fight all of that where there's new development.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go to a commercial because we got to get support out, the people who support us. So we're going to go to a commercial. Mr. Producer, we go to our first commercial right now. Tell that we're back. Jamal Terrain, our guest tonight. We got Lindsay Grovenstein, we have Chase Rosen, we have Dominique Crumbley, we have Kweisi Jones, and we have Ivan. And so we say to everyone out there, we say share, and support our advertisers, Davis Bozeman Johnson Law Firm with offices in Atlanta, Statesboro, and Savannah. One Price Cleaners at the Farmers Market on the Augusta Road on Highway 80 in the Farmers Market in Garden City. In addition, Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Junior Boulevard, and Shepherd's Food and Gas on Stiles and Gwinnett Streets. So, Lindsay, I have met Lindsay, seen Lindsay out there doing the work. And what is interesting is that we had one of the forums for the candidates that was held, and at the forum, the youngest adult at the forum was one Kweisi Jones. Kweisi was the youngest person at the forum that was held at the Delaware Center. He was the youngest person. And so Dr. King shared some. Dr. King said that African-American college students will be able to get Caucasian college students that was essential. He's saying college students, but he's saying young people to get involved in the movement. We've seen Lindsay with regards to work that Keisha Kelly was doing, Keisha Brooks also doing with regards to displacement. And we see Lindsay out there going forward with regards to carrying on with herself, her organization out there. So Lindsay, I got to throw it out there, got to throw this out there to you. Why are you not afraid? Because a lot of other young adults are afraid. Why are you not afraid? And what can help them not to be afraid? Because that's a part of the issue we deal with. We talk about it at home or on social media, but we don't take action. So what is it about you that make you get out there and get involved and to bring about helping build a better world? And so what can be done for them, for those who are afraid?
Thank you, Dr. Torre. I appreciate it. And you too, you start seeing the same people out there, right? When you're out there. I don't know. I'm more afraid of what happens if I don't, my fear is not of the people. It's not me going out to at this point, like going out to protest and like in rallying and showing up in support and solidarity of any effort. and sometimes it's a lot, and it could feel like a lot of different things, you know, like we saw each other at the Foxy Loxy strike, you know, coming out for workers. We saw each other. We didn't see each other there, but I was out at Yamakra. We were canvassing as well when we were going out to the residents, and you go to all these different causes, and it's about building trust. We have to come out and let people know that we care. And truly, I'm more scared of what happens if I don't. What really got me going, you know, I guess it's just I've always had a heart for wanting to help people. Yeah, I was raised in the church, and sometimes I'm really disappointed about what the church does nowadays. But how it raised me to care about people and to care for others and for people who are suffering, you know. And it's just like, how could you turn your eye to that? So I just really challenge people. I think we get really caught into our comfort, into the busyness. And I know, you know, I don't have kids, probably one big reason, you know, I'm out there a lot, but it's about finding ways where you can fit in. I think people feel intimidated that if they can't go out to every event, or they can't, you know, like go out with a megaphone, they can't do that. Well, where can you serve? Like where can you fit in? You don't have to be at everything, but it is about finding your role. And right now I just have the capacity and the passion to like be out there as much as I can.
All right. Okay. Dominique. What drives you? Why do you want to be involved? Why you want to get involved? Why you want to see change? Why you want to help uplift the world?
Because the past that I've seen of everything that we've gone through, and seeing how it's evolved. So we're still going through a lot of what we went through in the past. It's just newer ways that it's being done. And like you asked, why wouldn't I be afraid? I think I can attest to that, or think my first deployment. I probably shouldn't be here. I've gotten shot at and everything. So I figure there's a bigger cause, because if I'm going to, you know, stand for something, I have to understand that I have to sacrifice. Huey P. Newton has a quote saying that the first thing a revolutionary must understand is that he's a doomed man. So there's no sacrifice. I mean, there has to be sacrifice if you're going to invoke change. And what I think there's a lot of people who have fear. You can't say that you want to change something and have fear. They don't go together. They do not go together. So to have no fear means that there's nothing that can be done to change my mind, because I've already considered myself, you know, a sacrifice for a bigger cause, for a higher cause. So I've been doing it since 2002. That's what I raised my hand to do. But now, instead of for the entire country, if I can do it for the entire country, why can't I do it for my community?
Okay. All right. To Ivan. And I'll throw this out there to you because, again, being from Ecuador, you have Afro-Ecuadorians, you have Native American Ecuadorians who've been out there on the forefront. I should say that also in Colombia and in Brazil, sometimes they're facing the tirade of the government and also commercial ventures and also ranchers, where some of them are fighting for environmental issues, but also economic issues for all those groups right there. And they're on the bottom rung. And so you have the elites who are up top that we all talk about. So why are you not afraid? Because other people be afraid. Why are you here? Why do you get involved right here? Why you want to try to see a better world? Why are you not afraid? And what moves you with regards to that?
Yeah, and I hate to be contrarian on this again, but I'll be honest, I am afraid. I'm involved with a lot of things. I'm involved around here. The last Palestinian every single time I go down to a protest, I'm scared. I'm terrified, actually. I want to show you how much you know about the Stop Cop City movement in Atlanta. I'm involved in that. I have friends involved in that. I'm scared for myself. I'm scared for my friends. I am terrified. I pushed, but it doesn't paralyze me. It doesn't stop me. I think it's because, I guess the way I look at it, the love I have for my community, for my friends, and for the world that I want, and for the justice this world demands is so much greater than whatever fear I could possibly have. And if you don't mind, if I could go to a quick anecdote about Ecuador, it's actually probably one of the earliest experience I have with movements. A gas station very close to my grandparents used to live in Quito, and a gas station, I believe it was an Exxon, that was very close to our apartment. There was an incident where a young Afro-Ecuadorian was shot by the owner. He thought he was stealing. He was not. It was an act of injustice. Now, I don't know what happened legally, but what the community demand was for that man to be fired from that. And I remember everybody gathered around, and we blocked the streets. We boycotted that place. There was nothing. That ExxonMobil had no business, had no peace in it. I believe for like about 3 days until that man was fired from that place. You know, this is a guy who shot somebody. I bet those guys, everybody who took to the streets were terrified. They were terrified to block traffic, terrified to confront that man. But whatever that fear was, melts into want and love for justice. And that's how I see it.
All right, and powerful. That's what I say. You all got the stories and the experiences. So, Chase, why are you out there? What moves you to be out there to bring about this better world that, again, what we all see that should be come to fruition? So, and why do you not have this fear like others? Because again, others can only talk about it inside their dorm rooms or in their apartments or in their homes or just on the phone. So what's about you? What makes you go out there to help try to bring about a better world?
I'm angry. I go out there because I'm mad. I see the injustice, and the more I'm out there, the more of it I see. And it's beyond frustrating. It's infuriating. I might have forgotten to mention this. I'm also in the Democratic Socialists of America, and I started getting involved with this group when our abortion rights came under attack. I was angry, and I wanted to do something, and it just kept going from there. The more I learn about Savannah and where it has gone wrong, some of y'all might remember I think it was the Bartow homes. I read somewhere that in 1960, all of the white families were evicted so that they could segregate it. I thought that was awful. I looked up to see how it is today and learned that in, I think, 2005, it was demolished. So now it's not a home for anyone. It's an empty lot. And that's infuriating because I know that we can have homes for people. I know we can make that work. We've done it before. Other places do it all the time. There's no reason for us to segregate, for us to demolish. There was just no reason for it. And we can do more about that. That's just one example. And we're seeing it again with Yamakra.
See, now Chase trying to be funny. Chase trying to be funny right now. See, because he want to throw about Bartow and see Dominique right over there. See Dominique right there and Kweisi right there. They saying weeping time. And see now that Chase gonna throw about we're gonna see. This is what I'm talking about. I had said I cannot associate with y'all radicals. I can't be associated with y'all. I'm trying to make these connections. I'm not trying to do that.
You can't associate with us. You got to get some business.
So what we going to do, because we're going to come back and we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to hit another commercial. But I understand y'all trying to be slick on little Jamal tonight. Y'all trying to be slick. Y'all trying to weave all this stuff together. I ain't trying to go down there. See, somebody want to go to keto and all that. I just threw some information. I don't need y'all doing that. So, Mr. Producer, we're going to go to a commercial, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to have on something else. People won't recognize me with them. Run Tell That. And we have with us Lindsay Grovenstein, Chase Rosen, Kweisi Jones, Dominique Crumbley, and Ivan. We are here, and we say that everyone share, and support our advertisers. Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm, offices in Atlanta, Statesboro, and Savannah. One Price Cleaners at the Farmers Market on Highway 80 in Garden City, and Shepherd and Gas, Food and Gas on Styles and Gwinnett Streets, and then also Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Jr. Boulevard. And so, Dominique, we come to you with this right here. What we often hear people talk about, they go and say, and what they go and say, they say that younger adults go and say, people do not let them sit at the table of power and have the conversation. People don't let them invite them in to have their voices heard at these tables of power, these places of power. And now they're going to say, that's what I was going to say. They say young adults going to say that, but I like to just going to say the masses of the people. That is the masses. That again doesn't really. So other people think it's tied to age. I'm going to say no. It's tied to economic levels at times, at that person, educational levels. That again, the masses are not allowed. So what do you say to those people who go and say they will not let us sit at the table and will not listen to us? What do you say to them, Dominic? What do you put out there? What's the solution with regards to that?
Kick the door down.
All right. Okay. And
Simple.
Kweisi, what's your thoughts about that? People say that we're not invited to the table, especially with you being the youngest person there at this forum, the youngest adult at that forum. Like people say, young adults going to say, and the masses of people going to say, they don't let us be there. They don't invite us there. They don't listen to us.
Like what Dominique said, he said you gonna kick the door down. I just gonna take a seat at the table and say what's up. You make your own spot.
That's right.
You can't tell us that we don't have a say so, and when it's going to affect us. So we make our own seat at the table.
Especially if it's a public meeting. If it's a public space, who are you to deny me?
Most definitely.
If I may, it makes me think, yeah, we can kick the door down, and we do at times, sometimes. But often when we do kick the door down and we make our voice heard and they take our public comment and they listen, what do they do? They don't do anything. And I know that for the longest time, like 5 or 6 years ago, when I really, before I was into politics, I was apolitical. I did not care because I had the privilege not to care. And then I just started paying attention and I started trying to get to these seats to hear it out. And you are pushed, or if you're allowed there, you're bored to death when you're there because you have no idea what they're talking about. And what I love about what I've learned through more true leftists, not liberal leftists, but like actual left thinking, is that we actually, not only do we create our own seats at the table, we create our own table of power. And we don't have to go through these empty, useless city hall. Like, I can't tell you, we keep going to the city hall and be like, listen to us. What can they do anyway sometimes? And there's a place for that. But I think too often we're trying to get these channels to listen to us when these channels were never built to actually listen to us. They were never built to facilitate our true power, because that is antithetical to the entire system. So I think sometimes we think about how can we, it's about shouting, but not just shouting at the door, but shouting everywhere and building our own power and building it collectively and together and through. So sometimes you have to go through those systems, I understand, but I think sometimes we just put so much emphasis and it's always going to drain us. I see it draining us all the time because they never listen. Yvonne, you could speak to the Stop Cop City stuff, but they spend 7-8 hours telling people don't do it, and they still do it because they're bought out. At the end of the day, our voices do not weigh to the capital that these private interests bring. So we have to build our own power. And it's incremental. So, anyways.
And I'm gonna let y'all know. Lindsay just took over. I had an order. I have a flow. Lindsay just went. She was gonna be the last one, but Lindsay just went. Just bam. You just took it over. But
I couldn't help it.
Respond. So, Ivan, we're gonna go to you right now. We're gonna go to you and Ivan. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just really want to back up what Lindsay's saying, and also what everybody's been saying. And the thing is, like, that thing about like not letting us be at the table. I gotta be honest, I didn't ask for an invitation, and I don't want the invitation because I don't want to be at a table. I want to be in the streets. I want to be with
There you
people. I
go.
want to be where the action's happening. I've seen it. I've seen what happened at the table. It's just talking. What happened in the street? It's action. It's people do things and get things done.
That's
Right? If you
right.
want to, and I couldn't advocate this more. If you want to feed the hungry, feed the hungry. As in, literally, make a cook food. That's what we do in our mutual aid group. We cook food. We hand it out. People know us now. People can depend on us for free food, free. I don't even like calling it free because it's community provided. Free makes it sound like it's it's some sort of gift. No, it's us taking care of each other.
And we could do that all the time. Like we try to like, oh, get the money to fund us. Man, we just do it ourselves. And we could like build that on a large scale. That's what it's about.
Right.
I gotta put myself on mute.
No, just go ahead, Lindsay. Just go, Lindsay. Just go. Just hell. That's what you ain't the only one. Everybody take on Lil Jamal show. That's why I say we the Lil Brother show. All us show. Everybody run on Lil Jamal. That's fine. That's fine. So Chase, come to you.
I'll be the contrarian this time. I go out when I can from time to time, and I'm happy to be there in the streets. Going back to what frustrates me is when I see the excitement in a young man who is homeless and working, he's still in his uniform. And when I tell him that there's some free food or some deodorant even that he can go and pick up, the light in his eyes it's great to see that energy in him, and it's horrible to know what caused it. But I'm still willing to try those channels. I've been to nearly every single Garden City council meeting and planning and zoning meeting for the past year, nearly every single one of them. And I'm making it my business to remind them what they promised. I tell them, hey, your city charter here, your plan for 2040, it says that you're going to start building more grocery stores, that you're going to make the communities more accessible for others. You need to start doing what you said you're going to do.
Accountability.
There are specific actions. Accountability. Yes, sir. There are specific things you said that you could do, and I haven't seen them.
Hold your feet to the fire. I love it, Chase.
Yes, and I do want to say that a lot of these people, especially in the smaller communities and in these smaller groups, they are community members too, and they were appointed or even elected, and they go in hoping to be a part of a democratic process and to represent the people. And I see that in quite a few of them. I really do. But they're at a loss because there's not much engagement. And that's a huge issue, is engagement. When just a few people show up every so often, that doesn't tell them what the community wants. When people show up consistently, they get an idea. When a lot of people show up, they really listen.
Okay. I'm going to share this with you. We are going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. I realize we're going to have a problem. There's a question I was going to pose to y'all. And we have 5 of you here on the show. And I realize that the question will not really do justice with regards to the amount of time what I want to pose to you all. And there was almost 2 parts to the question. And I know that it will not be right. And so, because like I shared with y'all, we like to put out information for our audience to help them, to impart information, to empower them, for them to go forward. And I realize, again, we have done something that is problematic. I need to know, can y'all come on the show next week?
I'll be here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Would be honored.
I'm gonna tell y'all what it is, and that's why I'm like, oh my God. The question is gonna be, I want you to create a world, that you think would be beneficial to all of us, each one of you, to create a world, and then you talk about and discuss that, which means that you now put out there what are the things, but then also, just like when Chase was talking about discussing some of this, and I'm discussing some of this right here, saying Lindsay interrupted and said what she said, that we need the people out there to hear what are some of the works that's going on right now here at least in Chatham County. People can get involved in, help with, and take care of other people. And so that's why I'm sitting here. I'm like saying, Jamal, they ain't gonna be able to really do justice with regards to all that and the projects that are going on. Saying, because y'all are all involved in projects, and saying discuss those projects. So that's what next week. That's what we want to talk about. You not putting out there to the public that the world that you see that needs to be created for all of us, for a better world, for a better society, for all of us. But then also, what are the projects that you all are working on, and how can people get involved in the projects with regard to that? Because again, you all are talking about some things that I think some of the people looking at the show right now need to be involved with, or at least spread the word with regard to that. But then also saying, hey, what's the work that you see all of us need to be doing too? So yeah, so that's why I like, not that I want to have y'all on next week. I feel I got justice to the people who are checking out the show, because folks are here. Bernard Brown, we don't care about what you talk about, Bernard Brown. Okay,
Unless you're talking about beach.
He making comments and stuff like that. So
he's been like boosting me up there. I'm cool with him.
All right. So again, but that's why, again, because I want people to hear, because again, you hear this work that's being done, and people sometimes get frightened about it, but you all are out there doing it. So that's a part of what I'm doing too, because I want to put people on the spot with regard to this, that some people sitting at home, they're looking at this and they're not engaging. And I'm like saying, you got to be engaged with this right here to bring about this better world. And so now what we're going to do, really, as I said, I had a two-parter. We're not going to do the two-parter. We're going to delve further into that on next week with regard to you all not giving your vision, you shaping the world that you see. And so, but now it's like, what are the words of inspiration that you can give to anyone out there? Words of inspiration that you can provide to people out there right now. So we come to you. What are words of inspiration that you think the people out there need to hear?
I mean, it's hard to say quickly.
You ain't got to say quick. We got time on this right here. This time, I'm just saying the other one. That's why we didn't have enough time really to do justice to that. But now the words of go ahead. You got time. We got time on that.
The word of inspiration I would just say is that it is possible. Like it goes back to what I said earlier. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible. It feels insurmountable, like the change. You look out, you read the news, everything feels like it can't change. It feels like this is the way it is. It feels like you should just try to survive in this messed up world. But the truth is, and it's almost scary, it's almost more terrifying, is we do have the power, and we can make that change. And to quote this brilliant anarchist writer, Ursula Le Guin, to paraphrase her, she said, the power of capitalism and its control feels unstoppable, but we thought the same thing for the divine right of kings. We were under a different set of rules, and we got a little bit more freedom from it, and we can even get a little bit more. And if you want to leave it, and if you don't mind, if I can put a teaser for next week's episode, something I've said about like how I see the world I want is, I've said I want the day to belong to the person who wakes up, and we don't have that right now, but that's the world I want to live.
All right. Yes, indeed. So, Chase, word of inspiration.
Yeah, my inspiration is just being there is enough. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do. You don't have to make your life difficult. A lot of our lives are difficult enough as it is. A lot of the times, just being there makes a huge difference. If you can be in one place consistently, that makes a world of a difference for a lot of people. It doesn't matter if you're volunteering and helping feed people, clothe people, if you're working with Cop City by just simply writing letters to people who are wrongfully imprisoned. If you just do something small and you do it consistently, then you're doing so much more than a lot of people can do or are willing to do. And it is enough. Everything above that is gravy. It's the cherry on top. But showing up is plenty.
All right. Kweisi, we come to you. Words of inspiration for the audience out there. And so.
Sorry for technical difficulties first. I'm gonna say it the clean version. The words of inspiration I'm gonna give to y'all is what my uncle Torre gave to me a few years back. He said, "Do not be like the other Savannahans that don't do stuff." I'm gonna say stuff for the sake of the show. That's so. That's my words of inspiration. Let's get out there. Let's go change the world. Let's get active. Don't just sit there. Go do some stuff.
Okay, I'm glad you get right. Thank you. You gave the clean version. Okay,
Yeah.
Lindsay, you gonna last. Lindsay, you gonna last. Okay, you gonna last. Because I knew you chomping at the bits. You gonna last. My God, I thought Dominique was bad. Oh my God, Lindsay. But oh my God, Nick, I didn't. Oh, Nick, I thought you was gone. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Okay.
See how you do me? See how you do me?
Inspiration. Where's the inspiration to the people that you did right now?
My words of inspiration to anybody who wants to do anything is stop being nice. Stop being nice. Niceness has gotten us as a movement nowhere. We're in a system where the people who are in control are writing the rules, and they're breaking these very same rules that they're writing. And what we're doing is we continue to follow the rules that they're writing and breaking. So you can't believe eye for an eye, but at the same time, you don't go for the eyes. You don't push back. You have to get dirty. And I think that too many people are playing it safe. We don't have enough people who will get dirty. We won't have enough people to step to somebody. And I think that's something that we need. Because if not, we just continue to get ran over.
Okay. All right. And Erica Taylor said that she's been inspired by y'all and that she'll be there with y'all to work with you all. Bernard Brown said the same thing, inspiration. So now why did I say Lindsay got to go last? Because now some of the things, Chase said some things. Ivan threw some things out there. Kweisi said some things. Dominic, you said some things that, again, because we understand what's happening. There's a lot happening in the world. And we understand that what's happening in Gaza and Palestine, we see the work with regards to that. But then also stuff is happening in Haiti. People don't have a conversation, don't talk about that. But then also with regards to what's happening in the Congo. And I put some stuff out there, and Lindsay then responded and shared some information with regards to that. And I thought that when I saw it, I was like, oh, we got to get that out. At least let people know that. And so, Lindsay, we want you to go ahead, give the words of inspiration, but also with regards to when you talk about Congolese families here and what can happen with regards to that. So that's why I want you to be last. That's why I want you to be last.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, in my daytime job, I work at a nonprofit called Inspiritus Refugee Services, and we actually probably didn't know it. Savannah is home to refugees. We resettle many refugee families from Afghanistan, Syria, Congo. And what's going on right now, this has been so life-changing to me to meet all these families and to help them. And if you ever want to meet and help out families and volunteer, let me know. But on a non-professional side, as a socialist, I've learned so much more of like how we're all intersected and how a lot of the refugees that we're receiving, we also are like directly responsible for, like Afghans, and we left. And I could go on, and that could be a whole show. But it's like just getting involved where you can, where you're at, and helping people, and just realizing that we're all connected. I could go on and on, but we're all connected. Help. Don't play nice with the system, but play nice with each other. We gotta like build and grow our community with each other, and then really hit them where it hurts. But we have to do that. We have to do that together. And I'm happy to talk with y'all next week. Really appreciate the space and all that you do for the community, Dr. Torre.
All right. And glad to have y'all because y'all are doing great work. And that's what we want people to recognize and see y'all and for them to know that they can do the same thing. And because as it stands right now, y'all are doing the work that other people need to be doing also and helping y'all in the midst. So we're glad to have y'all on the show. We have y'all next week. And with regards to this has been a great show. Just to let y'all know, it's been a great show because y'all have made it happen like that. And we're inspired with regards to this, and others have been inspired by y'all. We got people from around the entire world looking at it. Because we got people in the Middle East and in Asia and in Africa who were looking at this, and in India and in Europe looking at the show. So you're seeing what is happening right here in the United States, and people around the entire country seeing what's happening here. So again, this has been Ron Telvat, Jamal Toure, with Lindsey Grovenstein, with Chase Rosen, with Ivan, with Kweisi Jones, my nephew, Dominique, my brother, my son, my nephew, all that roll up in one, Dominique Crumbley. Glad to have y'all. And these are the people who are leaders of today right now, and we need to be embracing fully the work that they're doing. So again, couldn't do it without you all, and we're inspired by you all. We will see y'all on next week. Those of you checking out our Black Media shows, check out all our shows. The Rabble is next. The Rabble is next. So we'll see y'all. Peace and blessings.
I like that.